But let's of course start with this big story from the United States of America. 31 days of the US government shutdown, and there still is no progress that's been made on the negotiations between the Trump administration and the Democrats. The federal agencies and the American citizens are paying the price for this bipartisan standoff. Now, the leaders of both the Republican and the Democrat Party continue to engage in a blame game, accusing each other of shutting down the government that has put livelihoods and the American economy at risk. Listen in.
Day 30 of the Trump Republican shutdown, and House Republicans remain on vacation. They've canceled votes for 5 consecutive weeks. House Republicans are missing in action. Yet, Speaker Mike Johnson is saying the quiet part out loud. It's extraordinary that earlier today, Mike Johnson admitted that Republicans are willing to starve hungry children in this country and take away SNAP benefits starting on November 1st so they can pressure Democrats into gutting the health care of the American people.
I just want to say to any Democrat in the United States Senate, we are happy to talk about any policy issue. We're happy to talk about health care policy. We're happy to talk about tax policy. We're happy to talk about regulatory policy, but not at the point of a gun. You do not get to take the American people's government hostage and then demand that we give you everything you want in order to pay our air traffic controllers. It's a ridiculous set of demands. Let's reopen the government, and then let's sit down and talk about how to compromise on policy for the American people.
A new poll shows growing public concern over the ongoing U.S. government shutdown and the increasing disapproval of how President Donald Trump is handling it, with 3 out of 4 Americans now saying that they are very concerned about the shutdown. Trump's approval on government handling is now slumped to 36%. Now, according to the new ABC News Ipsos poll survey conducted between the 24th till the 28th of October, 3/4 of the Americans say that they are concerned about the shutdown, which is up from 2/3 when it began on the 1st of October. The share of those who are very concerned is in fact jumped from 25% on the 1st of October to 43% today. The polls are also suggesting that concern cuts across party lines. Nearly 9 out of 10 Democrats, over 7 in 10 independents, and more than 6 in 10 Republicans say that they are worried. Amidst rising concerns and also impact showing across the sectors, the SNAP program is bracing for ramifications from the 1st of November, and the government shutdown will impact the SNAP program, which feeds 1 out of 8 Americans. The volunteers across states are preparing meal kits to help the beneficiaries of the federal funded program.
I have seen the impact that this is going to have on communities and families around, and it's really tragic. And so any type of way that you can give back or serve any type of community, you need to. Like, it's really an advocate for service right now.
All right, now to put things in perspective, and is there a way out of this shutdown? We joined this broadcast by Mr. Richard William Painter, who's an American lawyer and a professor at the University of Minnesota Law School. Mr. Painter, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. Now, this is a bizarre sort of a situation for people who do not know American politics. 31 days of government machinery being paralyzed because the government and the opposition cannot agree on certain things. Is there a way out legally for Donald Trump to try get the government machinery back up and running?
Well, I think it's critically important to get the government up and running. When I was the ethics lawyer in the Bush White House, under President Bush, we didn't have partisanship that was this intense with Congress, that we'd have to shut down the entire government for long periods of time. And the problem is that the United States government keeps borrowing more and more money. So in order to raise the debt threshold to borrow more money, they have to have a vote. And the Democrats are saying, we're not going to vote for that unless some of this money is used to continue the healthcare subsidies that were in place under the healthcare law passed under President Obama. The Democrats have a lot of support for that position with the American people. Now, the problem is that conditioning or reopening the government on extension of the healthcare benefits is not that popular position because the two are separate issues. But then again, I think the Republicans need to realize that taking away healthcare from large numbers of people people in the United States and dramatically increasing healthcare insurance premiums is not going to help them in the elections next year. And they ought to agree anyway that we do need to have these healthcare benefits. That being said, there are other issues where the Republicans' position is a lot more popular with the American people than the Democrats. And the Republicans could come back and say, well, then if you're going to do this with the health care benefits, we want this or that. They need to both sides need to negotiate. And this has been going on way, way too long. It's time to reopen the government.
Right.
We're wasting money this way. We're going to have to pay government workers in the end for this time in which they have not been working. We're going to end up having to pay workers. And the government is falling behind on a lot of its work that needs to be done. This is a colossal waste of money.
That's interesting that you put it this way, that it is a colossal waste of time and effort. But Donald Trump is, of course, paying a political price for this. But he's also suggested something interesting. He says that he wants to do away with the policy of filibuster, something that even the Republicans are not in complete support of. You know, for people outside of the United States, explain to us what is this policy of filibuster and why is Donald Trump opposed to it?
The policy is that a bill cannot advance through the United States Senate without the support of at least 60 senators. And this gives the minority in the Senate the power to veto bills, including here the bill reopening the government. Now, ironically, some decisions are made by the Senate, including confirming United States Supreme Court justices with barely 51 senators or 50 senators plus a tie-breaking vote from the vice president. So the Senate's made up its own rules as they go along here, giving power to the minority with the 60 vote required for a bill, a law to pass rule. They probably should think about making an exception for reopening in the government if they're making an exception for the nomination of Supreme Court justices. Because once again, I mean, this is just a colossal waste of money, and it's really going to hurt our country. It's going to hurt our national security and our economy.
Interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Painter, for joining us with that perspective there.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.